Hello everyone, I'm Karthik Sharma from ETStudios in Rising Rajasthan Global Investment Summit in Jaipur. Right now I am with Mr. Ajitabh Sharma, a senior IAS officer from Rajasthan and Principal Secretary of Industries and Commerce in Government of Rajasthan. Mr. Ajitabh Sharma and his team work relentlessly to make this event a success. Welcome, Mr. Sharma.
Thank you, Karthik. Thank you for inviting me here for this short and brief interview after the whole hectic day for the today, which
Yes.
was majorly focused on Pravasi Rajasthanis, the non-resident Rajasthanis. Thank you for inviting me for this interview.
Yes, and I hope we'll be very energized throughout the day's effort. I think you were very busy throughout the day.
Yeah.
But let me start with the first day. A Prime Minister of India came and gave
Yeah.
fantastic speech, and everybody was energized. How do you see this for the inspiration to the people of Rajasthan?
See, whole of the electronic media, the print media, and the digital media, along with the social media, was full of what all the Honorable Prime Minister spoke about the investments and the vision of Viksit Bharat, the developed India 2047, and how the states have to be part of Viksit Bharat. And that had been our overall theme and motto since very beginning when we started conceptualizing this summit. It was Viksit Rajasthan for Viksit Bharat, the Viksit states for Viksit India. So that was the whole theme. And the remarks of the Honorable Prime Minister in the inaugural summit yesterday, they were really electrifying and energizing, particularly in the sense that the optimism, the positivity, which I could see in the audience immediately after the uh,
Yes.
speech of the Honorable Prime Minister when the inaugural session ended, everyone was so upbeat. The political leaders of the state, the big industrialists who were present there as audience, the media people, the senior officers of the government, the non-government organization representatives, everyone was so energized that this is now really the time of Rajasthan rising, and the state has a lot to offer. And the Honorable Prime Minister highlighted the huge opportunities which the state of Rajasthan holds, and that is what we have also been selling at large at different forums, that Rajasthan is replete with natural resources, it is replete with skilled manpower. We are a responsible state, both in terms of uh, gelling the development schemes and development activities, along with protection of nature and the principles of sustainability. And we are ready. We are ready to welcome the industry. We are ready to welcome the entrepreneurs. Rajasthan has changed, and it is a new Rajasthan which is always available to the future investors and the existing industries in these states, so that they can scale up, they can make new investments, they can think of expansions, they can think of modernization, whatever kind of support which is needed from all the line departments of the state. Our Honorable Chief Minister is abundantly clear, and he has been making this clear in different meetings which he holds of the departmental secretaries, and it has been discussed quite often, even in the cabinet where the ministers are present, that we have to be highly proactive in terms of resolving the issues which are related to the industry and investment which are pending in the departments. So I think there is a great positivity which has floated around after the inaugural session yesterday, particularly after the speech given by the Honorable Prime Minister, and the whole bureaucracy, the whole government administration, and the whole state government is committed for taking that vision ahead.
Definitely. And one thing I also noticed that the intent and enthusiasm of the political leadership and bureaucratic leadership was great. I saw not only in this event, Chief Minister being very active throughout the campaign. He has been in various countries connecting to investors and people. very active in this event, and also the bureaucrats who were very active at different level. How was it possible to create such an enthusiasm and such a inspiration has to be there among all the people? How you all could create this environment?
See, there are different aspects to this whole concept of conceptualizing the investment summit, making a roadmap, laying out the plan on the table, and then start implementing it. So, the biggest thing which I see, which has been the reason for such a grand success of Rising Rajasthan Global Investment Summit, has been the clarity which the Honorable Chief Minister gave to the different line departments, to whole of the bureaucracy in the state, that this is what which I want. And there had been number of meetings in which the Honorable Chief Minister had been making his ideas, his concepts, his vision, his objective, and the final outcome of this summit very clear. So the abundance of clarity in terms of what is being wanted certainly helps the bureaucracy in conceiving and designing the activities and the future actions. That helped us quite a lot. And after that, once that roadmap was laid out and it was discussed in minutest of the detail, so there were certain requirement in terms of uh, change in government processes, like overhaul of the policy framework, or like the single window system, or what all changes are required in the sectors which the state of Rajasthan sees as the focus sectors. Like it can be mines and minerals, it can be the energy sectors, and it can be the tourism sector, or the logistics sectors, or the infrastructure sector. So we broke down our action plan, the roadmap, into different segments, and then we went ahead having long discussions with the concerned departments. So this is what is actually needed before we go for an investment summit of this level. Before we go to the investors for the investor meets, which we traditionally call the road shows, both
Yes.
the domestic road shows and the international road shows. So I think everything was well laid out. Decisions were taken in time. Implementation was spick and span in terms of the both the resources which we needed, the human resources which we needed, as well as the financial resources which we needed to organize the summit at this level. The outreach, how it happened, we had little lesser time as compared to the other states. So it was within a period of 4 months that we designed this whole global investment summit and implemented it. So we had to focus quite a lot on outreach mechanisms. So we adopted social media, we adopted digital media, we went for physical connect, we went for district level investor meets, we went for departmental sectoral pre-summits, we went for international roadshows, investor meets, and we also, like in a way, went for a series of media outreach campaign. So, and I think at the end of the day, Rajasthan had been very successful in changing its image before the investors and the businesses, that now Rajasthan really means business and is
Exactly.
ready to take the challenge of implementing the invest intents which we have received.
Yeah, and I've also seen quite excitement in the investors, because you see that more than 35 lakhs of MOUs have been signed. It shows that investors are excited. What are you doing to keep that excitement on?
So the first reply, or the first reaction to that, would be that this global investment summit from 9 to 11th of December is only a kind of one milestone along the road in whole journey. And for the industries department, the summit doesn't end with this period of 3 days, like 9 to 11th of December. And my team is ready to start its work from 12th of December to ensure the best possible implementation of the investment MOUs which have been signed. And that was rather the whole idea of the Honorable Chief Minister of organizing an investment meet of the global level in the very first year of the government. So that it was a sort of challenge to be taken. And the idea was that if we take this challenge in the very first year, then we would be more responsible and accountable to the people, to the investors, to the businesses, that we actually mean business. And this had been one of the most important selling point of the state government, because so like in last 2 days I had discussion with a number of big business and industry magnates. So everyone was mentioning that now it is very difficult for the government to get away only with signing of the MOUs, because it will be same government, and the government is answerable to the prospective investors that what has happened to those MOUs. They would keep on meeting us if nothing comes on ground. So that has become a big selling point, and we are all prepared for it. We have already prepared a digital platform
Okay.
where the whole idea is to uh, break all the MOUs into different subtasks, because then there are certain MOUs where like different types of clearances, consents, approvals, inspections, incentives are needed. So, like if there is an MOU where 6 departments are involved, so we break those MOUs into different subtasks. We assign them to different line departments, and then there is a mechanism, there is a dashboard for each MOU to monitor that which department has been able to deliver in time and which department has not been able to deliver in time. And there are different sets of dashboards which are at the level of the Honorable Chief Minister, the Industries Minister, the Chief Secretary, all the secretaries of the concerned line departments at the level of Principal Secretary Industries and Commissioner Industries. And the best part is that the investor himself or herself would also be able to track the status of the MOU implementation. And then there is a mechanism to handle if there are delays, if the work is stuck somewhere and the decisions are not being taken. So that sort of mechanism we have developed, and we already have directions from our Honorable Chief Minister that there has to be a sort of weekly review mechanism to ensure the implementation of MOUs. And the next big thing which is going to happen, which the Honorable Chief Minister has given the directions for to the Industries Department, is to now create a very robust and very strong framework to ensure implementation of these MOUs. And I think we will be successfully able to handle the grounding of the MOUs because of the kind of structure we have already created partly and what we foresee. And it would again be a big and resounding success, which the business world would see that what Rajasthan has been able to do and what Rajasthan has done. So I think we'll be creating a kind of structure which would be available there for other states to emulate.
It's great optimism and truly right. But I have seen that when industries, there has been a past record that industries face some challenges related to processes and movement of their proposals. So, what do you think can be done to make things easier for businesses to do business in Rajasthan?
See, there are like, first of all, how do you deal with the industry and the business people? I would first come to that point. So, what I personally feel and what I try to tell my whole team in the industries department is that let us be very fair, let us be very frank, and let us be very transparent, and particularly in terms of engaging and interacting with the businesses. So, by this I mean that we should be very open in telling what we can do and what we cannot do. So there
Yes.
is no point in like keeping the investors in a sort of flux where the department is not able to take a stand and the investor keeps on approaching you from like different methods, either by making the phone calls or online on our portal, and we keep on saying that let us see what we can do, we are trying, we have moved your proposal to X Y and Z department, but if nothing is happening. So the first idea is to let us be ourselves clear within the government that what we can do and what we cannot do. So at least the investor also knows that
Yes.
government is unable to do this particular thing. But if we have decided that this particular thing we are able to do, then we have to ensure that we actually do that, we actually deliver. So, and that is where the trust gets developed between the investor and the government.
Yes.
So the whole idea is to be very frank, fair, transparent, so that trust can be built up and strengthened between the government and the industrialist. And the second point is that like how you go on for your business process re-engineering in terms of like policies are there in place, the incentive structure which government intends to provide is in place, and there is a whole administrative framework which is there to provide incentives and do the work or fulfill the requirements of the industry or the investors within the scheme of things which the government provides. So, but even then, certain times the things do not happen. So, here comes of something like making the government offices both responsible and accountable for the task and issues which they have to handle. So, we have created a system for that also. And third aspect is like if there is any investor who is making his or her business plans or any business house to make new investments or to go ahead with expansion of the existing businesses, then there are certain basic things which are needed, like, and I would keep the availability of proper infrastructure at first place on this point. So the government of Rajasthan is well committed for creating new sector specific parks, the sector agnostic industrial parks. We are open to the ideas of roping in private investors or private parties in developing private industrial parks. We are open to the idea of like number of units coming together and then asking for the government to facilitate in creating common infrastructure. We are open to that idea as well. So that is one aspect, proper infrastructure. Number one. Number two aspect is skilled manpower.
Very much important.
And there has been a big focus on the skill aspect. And our Honorable Chief Minister has been emphasizing now and then that Rajasthan should encash its edge in terms of availability of skilled manpower. And in the sunrise sectors or the emerging sectors where the availability of skilled manpower is a challenge, we are planning a very unique skill employment and entrepreneurship policy, because we do not stop only at the point of providing skilled manpower to the industries or labor. We think beyond that, making the skilled manpower ultimately the new entrepreneurs
Yes.
in the whole economic system. So that policy goes from skill employment to entrepreneurship. So that is number two thing. Number three, the idea is apart from this ease of doing business on which I have already spoken, is how to reduce the cost of doing business.
Very important.
So, in terms of infrastructure support, in terms of change management within the government, when we talk about business reforms or governance related reforms, in terms of logistics, we are paying huge focus on creating a very robust and widespread logistic ecosystem in the state. You might have heard about the Western Dedicated Freight Corridor and the new expressways which have come up, and the
Yes.
new greenfield expressways which have been announced by the state government and the new water interlinking project. So all these things brought together would reduce the cost of production in the state. And I think if the profit margins increase, so that is a big attraction for the new investments to uh, come in Rajasthan.
Yes, great. So finally, I would like to ask you that what is your message from this platform of Rising Rajasthan, not only to the existing investors but to the potential investors, those who can come in future in Rajasthan? What message you would like to give?
So there is one thing which would I like to very strongly communicate to the business community within the state of Rajasthan, in our country and overseas as well, that Rajasthan has changed. The method of handling the investor and business related issues, they have completely transformed. The manner in which we interact with the businesses, the manner in which we try to resolve their issues, the manner in which we escalate the level if the issues are not getting resolved at the level of different line departments, it has entirely changed. There is free access, anyone can come and meet. We have improved our response systems in terms of meeting the prospective investors. So there is whole lot of change. This is new Rajasthan. That is why we call it Rising Rajasthan, and that this journey is not going to stop. You'll see a lot of new reforms coming up, number of new sector specific policies, and where, because the policies, I would like to add this thing here. What uh, I personally feel is that any policy document of the government communicates to the business community or to the stakeholder that how the government thinks about that sector. Say, like if it is a logistics policy, so then how the entrepreneurs and the businesses who works in the logistics sector, whose businesses are related to logistics, they get a kind of understanding that how government thinks about this sector, how government assesses the requirements of the non-government stakeholders, and how government solves those issues or problems. So a policy document is how the government thinks, acts, responds and delivers. So there would be spate of new sector specific policies. And I think those policies themselves are a big message that we have started thinking differently. So I would request all the prospective investors or the new entrepreneurs to seriously start thinking about the state of Rajasthan, as we also do seriously think about the existing businesses and the new investors. We are concerned, and they
Right.
should certainly give it a first thought whenever they plan for expansions and
Right.
making new investments.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sharma. And I think, yes, when state starts seriously thinking about it, the investors have to be seriously thinking about the state, because the largest state of India is now serious about how to make it large. So let's associate with Rising Rajasthan. Let all the investors come in, contribute to the state's growth, and make it a real Rising Rajasthan. Thank you so much, Mr. Sharma, for talking to us at the Economic Times CT studio in a wonderful event of Rising Rajasthan Global Investment Summit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let us all rise together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.